Hey there, folks. I am the Mighty Plantain, and check it out. We have a regional beer from a local brewery. I guess regional beer, regional flavor beer from a local brewery. This is Marsh Island Brewing's Gronk Spike Double IPA. Gronk, of course, being Rob Gronkowski from the New England Patriots. And this is a Maine brewery. Orono, Maine is where they're located. So we have Gronk Spike. This is a double IPA, and I got to tell you, I started pulling these off of the 4-pack ring, and I'm convinced that Gronk actually spiked every single one of these cans, because they all look like that. And at $18.99 for a 4-pack plus tax and deposit. I got to tell you, unless this beer is fucking amazing. I hope he did spike every single can, because that personal touch would be what justifies the price. I'm sorry, guys. Marsh Island, you got some kick-ass beers, but that is ridiculous. $5 for a 16-ounce can. I paid it because it's Marsh Island, but that shouldn't have happened. It was the busted up can that caused the little thing to go in just slightly on the edge there, and then in trying to force it, I wound up splattering it. So, look, I'm sorry, guys, but you're losing points for this experience so far. I'm going to try not to hold that against you in rating the beer, but come on. Alright, I'm going to let that set for a second. Wash my hand and wipe up the table, and I'll be checking back, but I will cut this out so that you guys don't have to watch me do that. Alright, so got that all cleaned up. Here we go with the Gronk flavored beer. I know, where's Boosh? He'd love to put anything Gronk flavored in his mouth, wouldn't he? Alright, so this is a very hazy beer. And with the crappy lighting in here, I can't really... I think that's more hazy from hop oils. I don't see any actual particulates floating in there. So, I'm guessing that's mostly a hop oil haziness. It comes in at 8.7% ABV, so it's fairly hoppy. It says it's a double IPA, but does not say anything about whether or not it's filtered or unfiltered. So again, I think that's just a hop oil haziness. I'm definitely not seeing any flecks or flocks floating in there. It's got a pretty decent head on it. It's nice and effervescent. Looks like a nice thick glass of lemonade, or lemonade down here where it's thinner starts looking more like grapefruit or orange juice up here. There's something interesting in the aroma. It's definitely got a nice hoppy bitterness to it. Hints of citrus, pine, some grassiness, a little bit of earthiness, and some slight floral tones to it. Okay, here's the odd thing. There's an aroma in there, and it's very faint, but it's reminding me of a buddy of mine growing up. He used to drive his dad's Cadillac around once in a while. Leather seats. And his dad used to smoke in the car all the time, so on hot summer days, there was this aroma that would permeate the vehicle. That old cigarette smell, hot leather combination. I'm actually getting that aroma from this beer. Now, maybe it's because I'm fucked in the head, or maybe it's because there's just some weird combination of aromas coming up through here that's reminiscent of that, but a very faint undertone. I am getting the leather seat caddy full of old stale cigarette smoke aroma. Now, it's not unpleasant. Not only are there some really pleasant memories of cruising around in that old caddy attached to this, but it was actually not a bad smell even back then. So that's just what I'm getting. Again, that's very, very faint underneath the overall hoppy aroma, in which I'm getting a lot of different hop notes and a lot of different hop characteristics. Sorry, getting a little tightened up here. I had to loosen the elbow. So it's very, very odd. But I don't want you to in any way think that I'm criticizing the beer for that. I'm actually just saying that's what I'm smelling, and it's a good thing for me. So, again, overall, very, very hoppy aroma with lots of very different subtle hop notes. Got a nice medium mouthfeel. It's got a little bit of oiliness to it, just a little bit. But again, that's because it's a double IPA, and like I said, it's very hazy from hop oils. Nice medium mouthfeel. It's got some serious body to it, and that little bit of oiliness gives it a little bit of stickiness on the palate and the tongue, which isn't a bad thing. That helps the hop esters to kind of stick around and circulate as you breathe after you're done swallowing it. It's very complex. And getting a grapefruit flavor from the hops. A little bit of sweetness, actually. Some nice earthy tones. So primarily grapefruit, a little bit of sweetness, some earthiness, some hints of pine, slightly floral notes, and some of that fresh cut grass, those grassy notes. So it is a very, very complex hop blend in a decent beer with some nice solid body to it. It's a nice, great double IPA. Now, is it worth $5 per can? It's worth checking out at least once, folks. I think the price has more to do with the not really an endorsement, but I think it has more to do with the licensing for this. They don't go quite as far as using New England Patriots or actually naming the player by name, but I have to think that they must have paid him something for using his nickname. I could be wrong, because that Gronk is not necessarily trademarked, but I do think this is overpriced. I'm sorry. It's a great beer. I love Marsh Island stuff. I really like this particular beer, but I think that it's overpriced in comparison to some of their other really great IPAs and double IPAs. You don't pay nearly this much for Swayze, Pulp Truck, and I'm trying to think of which one is actually their double IPA. But, a lot of effort goes into making a double IPA, especially from a local brewery, so you're going to find those getting priced higher. I'm really trying to balance this out here. I don't want to be really negative about Marsh Island because I love their beers, and obviously I don't have a problem paying as much as I did for this can. But at the same time, I feel that when there are other local options that are less expensive, I'm not going to spend that much on these in the future. It was worth doing at least once, but yeah, unless the price goes down, I'm going to find another alternative from a local brewery, because $5 for a 16-ounce can is a bit much for my wallet. But it's worth it. Let there be no mistake about that. It's definitely worth it. This is a 4.5 out of 5 for me, based on the complexity of the brew. I'm not getting any of that old Cadillac with leather seats full of cigarette smoke. I'm not getting any of that taste coming through, but just getting a bit of that aroma. And again, it's probably not going to be the same for everybody. There's probably just something in the aroma that's kicking in that memory in my brain because it's close enough and it associates it with it. But for me, that was a nice, unique experience. So again, 4.5 out of 5. It's not quite up to the full 5 out of 5. It's not blowing me away, making me go wow, but it is a different, unique, and awesome experience. Honestly, if it was in a lower price range, I might put it at a full 5 out of 5. But I do believe it's overpriced. I'm trying to balance this out here because I don't want to come down as negative, and I don't want to discourage anybody from buying this and trying it. But yeah, it was worth getting at least once. But in the future, I will probably gravitate towards a less expensive option to get a similar experience. However, I can't say that another beer is going to give me exactly the same experience because that aroma and that triggered memory, that was different. I've never had anything do that particular set of memories before. Anyway, I think I'm rambling at this point. It's good beer. 4.5 out of 5 for me. I just feel that it's a little bit overpriced. Let me know what you think. Hit me up in the comments, the email link down below. Grab at least a can, maybe a full 4-pack of this. Check it out. Let me know if you think I'm right about the price or if I'm way off base and you think that the price is justified. I want to hear what you have to say about it. While you're down there, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel. You'll get a notification whenever I post a new video once you've subscribed. Pardon. Until next time, folks, thanks for tuning in. Cheers.